Okay, before we get into the report I sent you, which is probably 100 or more sources of money and help for to grow your business, start a business, or solve any problem you want, and all that will be government organizations, nonprofit organizations, stuff that's happening on the internet through crowdfunding and the shared economy and stuff like that. But first, I thought I'd maybe give you some ideas that I had in my head. May or may not be useful. I don't know, but maybe expand your mind a little bit about your business, because it sounds like you want to help people who are starting businesses. And I guess I could relate to that because I do a lot of that, because I try to help people find, free sources of money to do anything in life. And we all need help, and what I feel is that what you explained to me was that you were looking for ways to get in front of people who need this kind of help. And I understand that, and I spend most of my life trying to figure that out for my own work. And that maybe I thought I could lend you some ideas about my thoughts about that subject. And it seems like we live in a society now that the work that you really do, your product or service or whatever you do, is that only about 10% of your creativity is in that part. And then 90% of your creativity has to be in how to get in front of people, how to get people to know about it. And that's what, if you know my work over the years, what occurred to me is that I could get a lot of free marketing and by being on talk shows and using the media for free. But it's a different era now. And I think we live in a different country where the whole thing has changed. I mean, look what's going on. Nothing that is old works again. I mean, Donald Trump is president. A year ago, up to 3 months ago, they still called him nuts. There's no way that's going to happen. So nobody knows. And I think we live in a society now where that's true. Nobody knows what works. And particularly for you and what you want to do in life, nobody can tell you what will work for you. And because we're all guessing. Everybody out there is guessing. No one really knows. The problem is when you go on the internet and look for help, or anywhere looking for help, you'll have experts, so-called experts with great credentials, and they say they know the answer, which is stupid as hell. Because what about all those experts who a day before the market crash are still telling you, the market's going to go any bit up, or real estate invested before it crashed, and Donald Trump before he got elected? Nobody knows anymore. And actually, right now, if you Google scientific journals wrong, okay, so you will see the studies that now show that 65% of all the best science in the world is really wrong. It turns out to be wrong within just a few short years. So, this works, that works. Nobody really knows. It may work somewhere for a little bit of time and everything. So it seems that no matter what you decide that is the best for you, to do, you don't really know if it works. And if I tell you, or some so-called other expert tells you, this is what you should do, we're lying too, because we don't know what really works. So that's the bottom line. See, and I think it's easy to get sucked in. I get sucked into the so-called experts. They know what worked and everything, because I don't know what works. So I'm grabbing hopes and maybes and things like that work. If they look smart and they got a lot of money, they must know. They don't. And we have to find out for ourselves. We're all artists, and things work differently for all of us. I was reading something recently about what they call wayfarers. I didn't know much about that word either, but it's a new thing that the social scientists are saying, that how we live our life now. It's no longer GPS, straight line to something. These are the steps. And that's what the experts and our teachers and everybody's telling you. Just do A, B, C, D, and E, and you'll get there. And it doesn't work that way. I mean, I'm convinced it doesn't work for me. Maybe a few people it does. But I think for the rest of it, that doesn't work. And it's working less and less and less as this economy changes so much. The environment is changing. You can't do it. And what they say is like wayfarers. Apparently back the Polynesians or somewhere hundreds or thousands of years ago found parts of the world without knowing how to navigate or anything, and they just sort of fumble around. And that's what I always believed. When I finally found something that works, I always felt that it worked by accident. I was trying so much stuff. I didn't know what the hell worked. And it worked. But also, you have to try it. I think the only thing we know for sure about what works is that doing nothing is wrong. So if nobody knows what they're doing, you don't know what you're doing, I don't know what we're doing, and the only other thing you know for certain is that doing nothing is wrong, then your only thing left to do is anything. So anything is better than nothing, right? Now, what is the end of anything? How do you narrow that down of what anything to do? Okay, I think it's money. Because if you start trusting all experts and saying, hey, just do this and sign up for this and buy this and you're going to get 1 million people tomorrow to do it, you're going to get this, and you're going to run out of money before you figure out what works for you. So to me, the name of the game is staying around long enough till you figure it out. And now with the internet and the way that things work nowadays, it's easier than ever. See, that's what I decided when I was starting up 30, 40 years ago, whatever it is. Heck, I can't buy ads. They were getting nothing. But if I could get people to print me up for free, and I found out if I act crazy on TV, cameras love crazy people. Yeah. And as long as I get a chance to tell my story. So I was using free money. And if you saw my ads on TV, that was all free. Because I would go to stations and find out, hey, if you have no advertising to sell, you put my ad on there and I'll give you half the money. If I went out and bought that ad, it would cost me thousands of dollars and I probably wouldn't make anything. I did that a lot, so I found that out the hard way. But if I had it for free and just shared the profits, see, everybody was happy because they came me time. That's why you saw most of my ads on late night TV. Nobody bought that. So when nobody buys it, they put up less. So I think that's the key to success, unless you have a bunch of money and all this kind of stuff. But most of us don't. And those with all the money go out of business quickly because they don't know how to spend it. Having a lot of money is a bigger problem because if you don't know how to spend it, then you know what to do when you have a lot of money. What do you do when you don't have a lot of money? How are you going to take that idea and make sure that sells and you know how to sell it? So here I put together some ideas that are free and using the stuff in the report. To use to get to use the tools that are in the report, you could say. Oh, another thing I read into learning more about wayfarers is that like kids in school now, when they go looking for a job, even college students, in their life, 65% of the jobs they have weren't there before. Or creating new jobs. And I see that in my own life. Man, I created an information business back in the 70s. No one thought you could take free information and sell it for as much as you could get. And I made a nice living doing that. My father, who was a businessman in Wilkes-Barre, a garment manufacturer, he couldn't believe it. Hey, well, you cost of goods sold? Nothing. That's it. Now you got to get, because we're so marketing oriented, you have to use at a cost of marketing is nothing. Then you have time to figure out how to package your product. Who is the best person in it? It's such a complicated game. It's sort of like finding a date. Sure, you like guys over 6'7" or something like that. And so you're going around to all the basketball players or something like that. But then some midget walks in the room, right? And your heart just falls in love. You have no control over that. So that's what life is. And that's what, to find that happening. And that's why the wayfarer thing is sort of like artwork too. That's how I always found it. I didn't know the word wayfarer. What I used to say is that we're all building our own canvas, and sure, we could say, oh, I want to be there or whatever it is. And it isn't. I always imagine, I'm not an artist, so I really don't know, but Picasso and people like that, they have a general idea what they want to do, but they put on a piece of paint on a paper or something like that. Yeah. And that gives them an idea. Ooh, maybe I should do that. And that gives them an idea. Because otherwise, see, we're sitting here trying to decide what is the best, and the people telling you the best are customers. So the more you go out and get feedback from people, not experts. I used to get feedback from my commercials from my friends and relatives. They never bought from TV. So I said, screw that. I'm going to find a real cheap place to get my commercials on TV and see what they say. But we get trapped in easily to do that. So what I want to show you is ways to do that. And you can now. Okay, now in here, one of the things, if you're selling expertise on helping people start a business, look in the items in the first local organizations. There I have a lot of nonprofit and organizations that help entrepreneurs. They're getting grant money, okay, to help entrepreneurs. So I think if you contact them, and say, hey, we have the same thing. I want to help entrepreneurs. Is there a way to help? So even if you were able to give a free talk, at their organization about what you have. See, I think that's what you have to do, is to make sure you develop some kind of idea or whatever, what is in your heart about doing this. And that's the best thing to look, because you'll sell that the best. If you're trying to say, well, I'm going to show you accounting, and you don't care about accounting, you're not going to add much value to anybody's life as you can when you have something from your heart that you want to give people and you build it. Now, a lot of times starting out, and I still feel this, I don't have enough expertise, or I don't know enough. I should get a PhD in this stuff. And that's just crap people put in your head, or no one. But there is somebody who needs whatever level of expertise you have, and you have to find it. So you put it down somehow. You do it's a website, a web page, or whatever, a product you have, or just a speech for now, and you go to these groups. Here, I want to educate your people. See, what happened, I think, I've been selling information and expertise 30, 40 years now, and it's, number one, I think you have to give it away. That's the only way you get out there, is giving it away. People who don't want to pay for your knowledge or whatever, they're never going to pay anyway, so don't worry about it. The people who do want to pay, they have to know about you, and they will, and they have to trust you. So the more you're giving something away for free, the more they could trust you, because it's really, you're looking for lazy people with money. That's what it really boils down to. And they're looking for trustworthy people. So if you're there, just a sneak, oh yeah, the answer's here. You give me $100 and I'll show you the answer. That's not trustworthy. I don't think that's a long game. And you don't feel good about doing it, even though you feel you have to do it. But I don't think you have to, because you'll attract the people who really want you for what you are. So look at the groups that I have in this report. There's something about creating opportunities and changing lives. I mean, boy, all these people are helping the people you want to do. So even if you offered your services for free to go down and talk, you're looking for places to get feedback about what the heck you believe may be sellable, may not be. And the more people beat that out of you, the more you'll understand it, or give you another idea you never thought of. Or Finata. Now, this is a wonderful thing. It's sort of like crowdfunding for low-income entrepreneurs. Urban Seeds is another one. Thing like that. Or the Urban League Entrepreneur Center. I mean, the Urban League, man. Look at there. It looks like the guy who runs the Urban League Entrepreneur. They give free services to entrepreneurs, minority entrepreneurs in the Philadelphia area. And he also has a consulting business. So he's like doing both. So that's maybe a model, for like you. So you're giving for free to nonprofits or whatever, but you're learning how. And now you become an expert because, I give speeches here, whatever, building up credentials, even though you give it away free. And then you see, look at that, local groups and startups for entrepreneurs. I mean, that's another group down there. That listing that's put out by the city of Philadelphia, that has like a dozen or more organizations that just concentrate on entrepreneurs. So, if you're trying to go on the internet and do this stuff, you're going to run into, you won't know how to do it. I don't know how to do it. You're trying to figure it out myself. But you'll run into all these people who say, oh, I know how to do it if you just give me money, And they really don't. Maybe they know peace or whatever, but it's probably 9 times out of 10, it's not going to work for you anyway. But if you start building your own expertise and understanding your clients or figuring out how to say what you have in your head better, this is the way to do it. Now, also, if you go to meetups.com or .org, either one works, and I have it down in the report too. If you Google, put into their search for meetups in your area. I found 250 groups within 25 miles, of where you live that cover your topic. These are entrepreneur groups. Look at here, and they're big numbers. Philadelphia Black Entrepreneur Network, 1,987 people. So even just attending, a $25 pizza dinner with these groups, that's what they are, or asking to speak for whatever. To get that kind of figure. There's a Philadelphia Food Entrepreneur Group, a Success Circle for Women Entrepreneurs meetup. See, that's a play. Boy, you're getting feedback. That's what it is. The market tells you what to do. It's sort of like, to me, in a relationship. You think you should act one way, but you go out with that person, and hang around. You say, "Whoa, things are a lot different." And that having that feedback, and you see the expression on their face when you say something, and you change your tune pretty quickly. So it's the same here. Quit reading books, and gurus on the internet, and go out and get real feedback. They're the people who tell your success or failure or not. Also, I think what's important is figuring out what you have to sell. If it's only, your services as a consultant, that's one thing. But I think the real leverage in all this, and what gives you even more leverage to sell services, is having products. So how can you make information products out of your expertise that you want to sell as a service? And now on the internet, that's easy as hell. When I was starting out to write a book, I had to convince some publisher in New York and things like that, and all that. Now, man, you just sit down on the internet in a WordPress or a Word document, and put it on Amazon and go on Fiverr and get somebody to design a nice cover for you. Now you're a published author on Amazon. It costs you nothing, right? You have something that people can buy from you, even if they don't want your services, because people are sometimes a little, maybe they don't want to do that. So you need other kind of products with your services. So it's easy to do ebooks. It's cheap to do ebooks. And you got something. You could even give them away. See, you can do a book for nothing. That's right. So you get down your ideas and thoughts and put it on a Word document and put it on, Kindle, on Amazon. Now you're a published author. If you don't know how to do a title, for $5, you go on Fiverr and get somebody to draw a title for you. Or if you have to convert it for another $10, they'll do that for you somewhere. So you now be a published author and you have something to sell. So on your website or you have a product, people interested in your ideas and they don't want to go and spend hundreds of dollars or whatever it is for your services, then they could get a peanut, or you could use it as a giveaway. It's a gift card. Almost you could use to people. So that's the way. Or you could put your services on something like Fiverr, and for $5 you give them a piece of something. I don't know. I'll give you 5 ways to stop wasting time being an entrepreneur, whatever it is. So you have a report or something like that. Video is easy to do. If you want to do that, or you could do a blog. You could do a podcast. There's services now for $30 a month, or even less than that. You could have your own radio station, and you just even put out something once a week or month or however it is, and then you have something again to sell. So you have products now. You could put these on, these audio products or video products or whatever, and something. So YouTube, like I do, that's free. and I get some a little bit revenue. They're not things that may make you money initially, but they get credibility. They help you formulate your ideas. It's another way to get feedback on what you really should be doing. You could leverage it to something else. And also courses. I mean, just think you could give courses now too. And again, they could be free, not free, whatever it is. I mean, this is the kind of help you're going to get. So you want to educate people. As a consultant, that's what we do. And so you have Udemy, that you could cost you nothing. You put a video course on there. I do it all the time. I got a few on there. Curious.com. I mean, people on Udemy making $100,000 or more selling courses of their stuff. What did I say? Curious.com. They don't make as much money there, but it's a lot easier and a lot less of a problem to get a course up, I feel, on Curious than it is on, I lost something here. I just want to get back. Okay, good. Than it is on Udemy. So that's a place that people do. Now also, what you should think about is contracts. I mean, you live in the city, you want to help people start businesses. The government wants to do that too. This is a way to get people working and jobs. There's a lot of nonprofits that do that. So you could be part of that. And I have now in the report here, there's how to get a government contract. And as a woman entrepreneur, or minority entrepreneur, just as a small business, there's special help. And all this help is free. So you don't have to hire a consultant to figure out how to do that. You look at the videos I have on that, and you can do that all free. And that's, or here another thing I thought. If you go down to 211, and how to use 211 in the report, and I did it here, if you see it here, and I put in job training. Okay, when you put in job training there, you see there's 1,588 organizations in the Philadelphia area that help the people for job training. Now here, where most of those, you have to sift through those to see what really makes sense for you. See, okay, job training, people need work, okay? Then you want to know how to, so what the government does is give grants to nonprofit organizations to help people get jobs, okay? Entrepreneuring and self-employment, they call it micro-entrepreneurs, is a way to do that. Okay, and they're actually more successful at succeeding in their careers than people get normal jobs. So you can help with that. You go to that list, find all the nonprofits that are helping people get jobs, say, hey, I will help people become entrepreneurs. So the people who have low income and don't have a lot of success in maybe getting jobs, becoming an entrepreneur. See, what I'm saying is that the government wants to solve that problem, and you could help the government solve that problem. And that's it. So you could contact each of those people getting government money. And actually, you could go to your city government and the sources I give you there for help and find out where it's called block grant money. Those nonprofits get block grant money from the federal that goes to the state, that goes to the city, then to these nonprofits. So you could start applying for that directly and get that kind of money. Or here, I have another thing there that I show you about the prison to proprietor pipeline. They're now training inmates how to become entrepreneurs because nobody wants to hire you. You create your own job. And now in this kind of economy, it's easier than ever because you go and get money on crowdfunding and things like this or shared economy. Nobody asks for your resume. Yeah, so it doesn't matter. So if you're a felon, an ex-felon and everything, it's easier than now. So now, but look at that link I have here because it shows you the story about how they're doing that now. So you could be part of that. It's a contract. It's a business. So where do you fit in that your expertise and find the need the problem you could solve? And that's why it takes work. It takes trial and error. Yeah, and even crowdfunding. Remember, go down the report. I give you a link there for how successful women are at crowdfunding for their business. Women are 100% more successful than men. That's right. And to get money for a small business through the venture capital, that's all run by guys. So 95% of venture capitalists are men. So 95% of the money goes to men entrepreneurs. entrepreneurs, but not crowdfunding. It's 50-50 like it should be. Yeah. So make sure you see that. Well, that's just my thoughts. I'm sorry I'm babbling along so much. But again, I'm guessing too every day. We're all struggling. So that's it. So why waste money on people who don't know either? Okay. So take the stuff, start learning yourself. And there's a lot of free help to do that. And that's the report is. I got 2 other introduction videos to help you through the report. Okay. Okay. Now get the other videos. Okay.